Hey, what's up? It's me, your girl E, coming to you. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, March the 7th. March is whizzing by. We're already through the first week. So we're going to be talking about something that is very dear to me with writing is journaling. I am a huge, notorious journaler. Hi, Stony05 Web. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe and share. Um, Journaling is very something that I do all the time, right? I journal literally everything. Okay, I have a Dear Diary type journal. I have a prayer journal that I pray in daily. I have a dream journal because I'm a dreamer and my dreams are prophetic. They are edifying. Um, I have I guess you would call a Bible journal that I take with me to church when I jot down my notes. And I have just these are my Pacific journals, and I'll share them with you because my publishing company, Writer's Block Publishing, has published them. And then we have recently published just a journal, right? This is our second journal, right? That we've published. So we have, let me see, 5 official journals that we have published. Hi, Kenny Grams, that we have published, right? If I'm a stickler for a type of journal, I'm a little bougie when it comes to my journals. You can always find them on Amazon, the dollar store. Get a notebook from Target, the dollar store, wherever. But journaling is so important to your writing focus because it helps you channel in your thoughts. We're gonna be going over these tips and tools that we want to help you with when it comes to journaling, right? So before we do that, let's share these journals. Now, the first journal I'm going to share with you is the one we recently published, and this is simply a journal. It is available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon for your journal, or you can email me. Let me pull up my email at Writer's Block Publishing, Writer's Block Pub at yahoo.com, and we can get you a journal to send me an email. Let me see. I don't know why my banners are not coming up. Oh, here we go. Okay. If you want to email me for a journal, if you send me an email and I can send you a Cash App link, Venmo link, or PayPal link. If you send me an email of who you are, your name and your address, it is confidential. Then I will send you the links to purchase your journal and I will sign it and send it to you free shipping. All right. We have the next recent one is the Dreams and Vision Journal. Okay. The Dreams and Vision Journal is something that I published last year because I am a dreamer, as mentioned. My dreams are prophetic, my dreams are edifying. And what I want to do is show you this. Okay. So here, I have a copy of it right here. Okay. Inside this nice little information. Okay. Um, the first thing I wanted to share was because these dreams are prophetic and to show you that I'm not just somebody just talking to be talking. Since I was a little girl, God communicated with me through dreams. I would wake up and wonder what they meant. It was when I was 14 years old that I had a dream or nightmare that my mother died. When I woke up, I knew at that moment I would not have my mother in my adult life. Unfortunately, my mother passed away in 1998 when I was 22 years old. So I was already pre-warned that she didn't die horrifically. It was nothing like that. It was the fact that I knew from that moment I would not have my mother in my adult life. There are also some information on understanding your dreams, what numbers mean in the dreams, colors, and here, let me see. Here we go. This is just one of them. Like, here are some things that I've dreamt about. I'm not going to share the details, but nonetheless, I use this when I have a dream. And one of the things to do is if you're a dreamer, what is very important that once you wake up, immediately write your dreams because throughout the day, they can now become faded. You won't remember them. All right. And the next one is what I call a Bible journal, like a Bible-esque journal. This was the second journal that was published with Writer's Block. It's geared just for it was for a church fundraiser that I was doing, so I made it specifically with the scriptures. But you could use this for anything. Something that you want to consider. I take this with me to my church when I want to jot down the message, right? And purple is my favorite color, so here we go. All right. Then we have our first official journal we published. I wanted to incorporate the Writer's Block brand name. All right, and it's just something basic, nothing like that. So here's the Bible journal up close. You can see that, right? That's really pretty. Look at that purple. Look at that. I love horizon and sceneries and things like that. All right. And then there's a regular journal right here. Okay. Again, it's nothing fancy to do. You just want to keep it simple. My lighting is horrible. And of course, it's lined. I need lines because I like to write straight. When I don't have lines, I tend to write crooked. It's weird. I got to be organized and structured. Those who do the bullet journal, who make up their lines and calendars, kudos to you. I've tried it. It is not for me. No. All right. And last but not least is a prayer journal that I deemed called Take It to the Throne, right? Something that my cousin and I will always say when we're going through some issues is take it to the throne. Okay. The prayer journal is specifically for prayer. If you are someone in prayer, hi in Mexico. Hi. Cats, Dolls, Breeze, Silma, 3798. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share. Subscribe, like, and share. It is something that, as far as a prayer journal, as mentioned, I'm a prayer person. I'm an intercessory prayer warrior. What I like to do is write in this. I do it every day. I wake up in the morning. I write down my thoughts and prayers. Now, the purpose for this is because when you are someone that likes to pray, we can get distracted. What's the noise? The house, the settling of the house, stuff like that. And what happens is we lose our train of thought. That's one reason why I'm a big stickler on journaling, is because it helps us to stay focused on our writing. Claude Speed, hey, how are you? All right, so we all know that journaling is cathartic. We see it on TV. We saw it on numerous talk shows, how important journaling is. But really, to the writer, understanding to you, the writer, who, when it comes to journaling, it's very important because it helps you structure your ideas, your story. Again, you don't have to be a fiction writer such as myself. You could be a nonfiction writer. Journaling just helps. It helps you really, really, really narrow it down. So what we're going to do is go over some tools and some tips. And this is going to be all month. And let me put my email back up if you want to get you a journal. All right. And then what you want to do is put the email and then put the type of journal. And then I'll post these journals back up and then put the email, the type of journal. I will respond back immediately and I will send you a link and I will get your journal and I will mail it and sign it personally. If not, you can always go on Amazon with the names and titles of these journals and go ahead and get you a journal. All right. First things first. It externalizes your thoughts, as mentioned, right? When the feelings stay in your head, we're always in our head. We're always overthinking naturally. Journaling, your thoughts can feel overwhelming and sometimes vague. People have definitely been overwhelmed with issues. This is what causes anxiety attacks, panic attacks. They can refer you to hide in your home, become a hermit, somewhat reclusive, even people that deal with agoraphobia. Writing your thoughts down moves them from the internal chaos to external clarity. You can get clarity on what's going on, right? This process is also known as expressive writing. Expressive writing, which is popularized by psychologist James Pennebaker. What it does is it helps reduces emotional intensity because this experience becomes something you can observe rather than something that controls you. A lot of people get a little bit overzealous and over anxious when they can't control a situation, especially when it's out of their control. Journaling can help you with that, right? It is emotionally gratifying, and it helps detox all the negativity from your mental state. It reduces emotional load. Okay. Unprocessed emotions activate stress responses in the brain, especially, um, this is a different word, MEAMY, Amy Dalla. I don't know what that means. We got to look that up, right? Putting feelings into words activates the prefrontal cortex, the logical language based part of the brain, which helps regulates those emotion center. Um, Naming a feeling helps you tame it. So if you are angry, identify the anger, and then writing your journal can help you tame your anger. I actually like that because it can just center you down. All right, you have to go. Thank you so much, Dottie Corbett. Thank you again. Please subscribe, like, and share. It means a lot that you just took the time to come on. Have a great day. Um, Tip number 3: it creates a narrative coherence. Um, Humans are natural storytellers. We tell the story. You know what? We're not writing down once upon a time story, but we are telling you something happened in your day, something in our youth, in our childhood, something in the past. We're telling you something. It's a story. It is what it is. Okay. Um, when something upsetting happens, it also feels fragmented. Journaling helps you. It connects the events and identifies the cause, and it recognizes patterns, and it reframes the meaning. The shift from this is chaos to this story I understand is deeply revealing. So once we understand the whirlwind of the chaos, now we can kind of shift and sector each event, almost like writing from the beginning, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and a resolution. Okay, so it creates a narrative coherence. And the final tip for the day is it provides safe emotional release. And this is normal when it comes to journaling, right? Because it's just emotional release, especially with your journal. You come home, you write at the end of the day, whether it's your gratitude journal, your dear diary journals, I like to call it. Unlike venting to another person, journaling has no judgment. You ever vent to somebody and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. But then you know that you're like, no, you're in your feelings. No. And you're really trying to get your point across. You're really trying to be heard. But that person just doesn't get it. Or they just, I'm not going to say they don't care. It's not their issue. You know what I mean? But there's no judgment. Okay. There's no interruptions. You ever talk to somebody trying to get them to understand your point of view, and there's interruption from the phone ringing to the doorbell ringing, somebody knock on the door, a child comes in and out the room, a spouse comes in and out the room. There's some type of interruption where you have to be on pause to release your emotions. And we have to be on pause. To me, that is extremely frustrating. And I get life happens. You may not finish telling the situation. But when you're on pause, you're forced to hold it in. And just think of holding in your breath for a significant amount of, you have to let it out. Okay. All right. There's no social consequences. That psychological safety allows you to be more honest, which makes the emotional release stronger. All right. So there's a situation I'm going to share with you. When I was married to my daughter's father, my ex-husband, my first husband, um, it wasn't a very happy situation. I'll be very diplomatic with that part. Nonetheless, I will write in a journal about my feelings, about how I'm feeling, the frustration in his marriage, the frustration as a wife, the frustration in my husband, the frustration on everything. Whenever we would have an argument, which was all the time, he would go to my journals trying to find some type of sneaky message, cheat code. And then he would later reveal himself in a very subtle way that he read my journal. I felt extremely exposed, extremely vandalized. So what I started doing was just writing more of a gratitude journal. I'm grateful for the day, grateful because I was in school, grateful for the lesson I learned in class, grateful for a lesson I learned watching a TV show. Just great, just thoughts. No real emotional release because I knew that he was going to read them. So for years, from maybe 2003 up until 2020, I was not transparent with my journal. I was not truthful with my journal. I wrote something because I'm a writer, but I wasn't really writing what I felt. My current husband told me, you need to actually write in your journal. And I didn't feel that he would read them. I wasn't apprehensive to that. I trust him completely and wholly. It's just that because of the trauma that I endured, I did not feel safe enough to write in a journal. So once I got the validation I needed from my husband to know that it is safe to write in a journal again and to be very 110% transparent, no matter how silly I felt, no matter how silly I sounded, I started really writing in my journal again. So that's something I want to share with you. And as a writer, it is something that we need to practice because it helps us with our writing structure. All right, that's just the tip for the Saturday session. You guys have a great and safe Saturday.